Hello. What's going on? Big plans for today. Big updates for today. It's been a few days since I've streamed. I'm back from my family beach trip. Just had stuff to do here. But I got big plans. Yesterday I uploaded some recordings to YouTube. There's a chance if you're watching this as a recording, you're watching it on YouTube. Just to catch you up on the timeline. This is a new thing as of today. So I'll probably be uploading a few recordings from the past each day until I'm caught up with reality. And then I'll probably upload these right when I'm done with them. But let's talk about Json Serialization. So as a quick refresher, I sketched out a little code here, but it's not really the point. The latest stuff that we got up to was being able to manage update requests with JSON parsing and this thing. I threw this all together last week. I feel pretty good about it. This parse JSON params. It's got a pretty maybe overdone structure where right, so you call parse JSON params with a struct that represents the sort of result type you're hoping to get out of this, and the string which is coming from a request body, but it's easy to imagine that that could be a file or whatever, you know, a stream, something readable in the future. But you call this and you get 3 bits. You get a boolean, did it succeed? You get those params if it did, and then you get this other structure called the params meta, whose behavior I'll get into in a minute. And in params you get exactly the things that you asked for, and in params meta you get metadata about the parsing of the params. Specifically, you can see was completed at set in the params, and I think is set is probably the wrong word. Maybe that should be is present or something. But it's explained pretty well in the specs, I think. That's not for me. This is the one. Right, so where we test here, where we've got a struct that has you can see it up here, right? There's a blog post. There's a root level struct that has a blog post in it, which is itself a type struct, and it's got some arrays, it's got some scalars. And then we've got a JSON where some of these values are set and others are not. Critically, there's no body in here, and there's no another array in here. And in a lot of JSON parsing stuff, or a lot of the obvious ways that I thought to do this and just throw things in here, there's a tricky disconnect where one obvious thing I might have done is to make all these pointers to other parse JSON. In which case, if they weren't present in the input struct, just call them null, you know? But what if they were present in the original struct, but they were set to null? Or in the case of these arrays, we'll just leave them empty, but what if they were present in the input and set to empty? What are we going to do? So here, you can see this is set value comes back with the meta alongside the result. And you can see that for this example, id.isSet is true, which is good because id is in this argument, in this JSON. Title.isSet is true because title is here, but body.isSet is false, which is what we'd want. Body exists in this params, but not down here. It's life is good. And then I think I tested some more interesting ones. Yeah, so the harder one is an object with an array of objects inside of it. That's where these things get really tricky, because you got to traverse into the metadata within the array and determine if the ID of the the first element in the array of structs is set or not. But you can see down here that works. This code's in GitHub. You can poke around on it if you want to. But I feel pretty good about it, where this returns a thing where array of structs that is set is true, and it's got 2 elements in it, and you can see that the first one has ID set but unused is not, and the second one has nothing set on it, which is what we want. I don't know why you'd want exactly this case, but there are a lot of cases where getting back over here, in this case we can implement like an expressive HTTP patch instead of a put, where we only overwrite the fields which have been specified in the JSON request body. And so here you can see if completed at is set in the meta from the parse, then make a change, and otherwise just like skip it. Don't worry about it. This is pretty verbose. I bet we'll want some sort of a conventional update operation that'll maybe take some stuff and some of this stuff and figure it out better. But this felt like a great, like we can at least like accomplish a patch, which felt pretty good. So that was the last thing that we did, and it seems obvious that like the next thing that we might want to do is then figure out ways now that we can parse the JSON. Maybe you want to be able to serialize meaningful JSON responses. And so I started thinking about that here, and I poked around a little about this last night, but I didn't really love anything I did. I wrote this like render, which is a little helper that like writes a status and a content type, and then I don't know, I just sort of like futzed around a little bit with like some ways that we might approach this. But I don't know, I haven't like thought through the syntax that I'd want here. So I sort of just copied like some like Ruby jbuilder looking syntax, and it's really underbaked. So I want to think about it a little more. So that's why I've got some notes up, and that's what I want to try to tackle today is what's like the right way to do JSON serialization. So maybe as we're saying, there are a couple things that I certainly don't want to do. One is like maybe the like sort of obvious or default feeling one of just like, well, we got structs, just like throw them into JSON, right? We've got structs, we got type infos, we got dynamic, we could do it dynamically or compile time, generate the code to just like traverse, walk the struct, write the fields, ship it. And that feels wrong. Like, I think everything that I've experienced in like web app development tells me that like even, I think this is stuff that like, in Jonathan Blow's streams about J, he's talked about this like OO conceit, this OO concept of like your object has an opinion about how it might be serialized. And I think that I mean, that's just like bad OO, and for, it's just like bad programming in general. For a struct to have an implicit understanding of how you might serialize it like universally, it sounds terrible to me. Do I have more words for that? It's like concretely, it's just you want different serialization strategies in different cases. I think it's almost never the case that you want, that there's ever one that's like a good fit. And so for JSON rendering, like my favorite is like a Railsy strategy where you like have proper model view controller where you have like views, and the view in this case is rendering JSON, and it's like a view concern. And so you have like maybe like in an OO world, those views are also objects. Like that's fine with me. But they're like an object that know how to like operate on a piece of data in order to render it into a JSON format. So maybe we can like start from there. I forget exactly the entry point into jbuilder, but I'm fairly certain that like you do like you define like some file, which is like, I don't know, views to do's show.json jbuilder, and then the file itself is just like some imperative like funky Ruby, which is like kind of cute. But you do like JSON dot, you can do like a few things, but my favorite is usually like you do JSON like to do, like do, and then you can like nest these, or like let's say you got like a to do, and like in our case, what might we want to render about the to do? Let's say like its ID, it's completed at, its description. And then maybe we want to like navigate the taggings, right? JSON dot like let's do taggings, and then like JSON dot tag, and then let's say we got like an ID, and a description. Yeah, that seems about right. Okay. And so then like this will emit yields. We got like to do, ID, description, completed at, and then we got taggings, which is now an array because it got an array argument here. And each one of these is an object with a tag, which is an array, which is, sorry, an object because of like this. No, because of this. That's right. And then here we have ID and description. Okay. And like this is like the full yielded response from here, and like it's easy to say that there might be more, you know, more taggings could pop up. Cool. So this is like pretty good, but it's obviously very like Ruby, right? This is like a full-on DSL, and there's all this like, you know, fuzzy dynamic business where this is like a method missing strategy, where like to do and taggings and tag are all right. Like this jbuilder DSL knows to respond to like some unknown message and say, okay, this means that I'm like adding a name, like adding like a JSON field here. It like inspects this type and says if this is an array, do one thing. If it's not, do another thing. Like I don't even know what would happen if I passed in like a singular object into this and then expected a block and stuff. Like who knows, kind of. And like these, like it like embeds a field whose name is set by this name and whose value is set by sending the ID message to the object in question, to like this object. There's just like a ton of stuff here, but this is really cute and pretty terse and descriptive, but it's also, I don't want that comma there. But it's also like hard to draw a straight line from jbuilder to like J. Yeah, and so if I were to do just like a direct, like as literal a translation as possible, maybe I would say that like let's say we almost certainly can't. So one thing that Ruby can do is be super flexible about loading these little scripts as like assets, like on the fly as necessary. And they're a little bit of Ruby code, the same way that like Haml or ERB or whatever. It's like a template language almost. And then just like evaluate it as Ruby or like bind it to some function name in some other spot in some other way. That's like not going to be super easy for us in J. Like maybe we could like hook into the compiler and know how to load these files in like the views directory in a tricky way, but that sounds like certainly not a thing to do today. Right? That sounds like if ever it's something to do in the distant future. Let's call this like to do like give it a name probably. So it's like to do like JSON. Yeah. And we're gonna want this to take some like to do. Like I don't know, maybe this is like a pointer to a to do. I don't know. I think that the code that I wrote, it wants to be a pointer, because I think the controller has it as a pointer. Although, like, it seems reasonable to me to say, like, we just like dereference. Like, if we don't have a to do, we've like already early exited, and so like maybe down in here. Where are we? In here, we like dereference there. Like, I don't know, that seems reasonable choice. Okay, let's say that this is not taking a pointer. We'll be a little uncompromising here. All right, and then we need some like connection context to somehow make it in here, right? So let's say that we got like a request. All right, and then so things could get a little bit cool here. So one thing I'm playing with is like we might be able to do like with macros and stuff similar to like the test code. We might be able to get kind of close to jbuilder, right? So we could say like JSON, I don't know. Like we could like do this, right? So we could like hop into like a rendering JSON like DSL or context or something here. And then maybe inside of this, we're going to be inserting this code here. and we're going to insert it with some like well-defined bindings. So we'll say like here we'll have like a, like, I don't know, if we just transform like exactly this to the best of our ability, like maybe it's like we do like JSON to do, and it takes a code block, and then inside of here we do like JSON dot, right? So if this is just a procedure, we're gonna have something, but let's like figure this out. So if we do JSON to do with ID description completed at JSON dot yeah. Things get pretty funky in here, but like I don't know, maybe we have it. Maybe we've got it. I mean, we can try. Yeah, let's see. Okay, so we've got like so things get weird here. Okay, so we certainly need like this. So I'm already seeing like a meaningful distinction here. Like this is pretty weird. But maybe it's really not that bad to say that like, right, JSON has like this we define like two overloads to this macro. One which takes like a constant string and a code block, one that takes some value, and like maybe one that takes a constant string, an array, and a code block. That seems like it could just be fine. That could be good. This could hold together. It seems plausible. Okay. And then here we want to just do tagging dot tag with ID description. Yeah? Does this look, this looks like pretty close to jbuilder. I don't know. This could hold together. And then like we'd want it to yield the same thing, and we want it to do like accomplish that by like writing out to the file descriptor and the request. This feels tractable. This feels like it could happen. This could work. Yeah? Alright, let's try to build this. Alright, where do we start with? Render JSON takes this and a code block. Alright, and then we're going to need like 3 renders. One, which looks like this. Which this is like add an object or like render an object. Oh no, this is the root. That's not the one that I wanted. I want this. It like adds an object field. Adds a field with an object value. Yeah, and these are all going to have to be, a lot of these are going to have to be compile time constants. Okay, we got this version, which adds fields with non-object values. And this is just going to take some like arbitrary t, right? It's going to be a var arg of string. That has to be known at compile time. And then we'll have the array case. Values, which is a bracket. And I feel like this code doesn't strike me as anything helpful. Maybe we'll call this like children. Adds a field with an array value. Alright, so some like tricky business we're gonna have to cover here for like recursion. Because like all these things, these are gonna need to remain accessible like arbitrarily recursively. Let's just like see. Let's see if this works in like easy mode, yeah? Because we also do have like out of order parsing, and we have like these are all constants, right? So like, you know, it could just be fine. I think we can also get clever with like baking, like all these. The reason that I have these as macros, I think there's like a few good reasons for it. They're going to be inserting code in business. I think they have to be, but like having this request accessible to all of them, that's like not going to work, is it? Maybe it will, because they're macros, right? Maybe it will. I was thinking that we might be able to pull them out and like bake and get clever. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so like this is the only one. Well, I guess all of them like write stuff, right? Okay, so let's say this one, which takes a field with an object value, is gonna say, I don't know if this has to be even known at compile time, but whatever. We can say, yeah, let me like cut some $signs where I don't think we need them. The type needs to be known, children needs to be known, this value does not, fields does. Okay, that feels cute. Alright, so we're gonna write to request dot connection fd, open curly brace, quote $, this to like open up the object, and then fill that with name. We're going to insert internal children. Maybe these want to be like backticked? I don't know. I get confused about that. Okay, and then we're gonna close it up. That seems like obviously we're gonna need some like escaping, right? If there's a quote in the name, which I think is impossible, but if there somehow was, we'd be out of here. We'd be out of luck. So like JSON escape needs to exist. But I don't want to write that yet. Okay, and then here, for an array, we want to write something very similar. Well, we kind of want to do like JSON dot JSON name, and in this code we want to say write request dot connection fd Yeah, and then like 4 values. What do I want to do? I want to insert internal children. If it index equals it's less than or equal to values that count. I need like commas in between them. Okay. Does this sound about right? Let me like bring back up this view, make sure that it seems at all like what I'm doing. To do the show view, JSON. Oh, I don't even have like an array type thing. Yeah, let's make it more interesting here maybe. Let's have this actually flex it. Let's like drop this in. Alright, I wrote this like in a weird way, and I think there's like a good reason for it, but it's because like taggings and tag don't always necessarily exist on, they don't exist on like to-do, they exist on like a preloaded to-do. So really, I also want to go to to-dos controller and look at this show, and I want to do like, how do I want to do this? Well, I can think of an ugly way to do it. Maybe I'll just give it a shot. Like in to-dos show. So it's like I've got a to-do. So let's say like, I don't know, preloaded to-dos is gonna be, okay, let's say like unpreloaded. So I think my preloaders maybe would benefit from being able to apply to like a singular thing instead of only an array, but that's fine. Let's like work on it as an array first and we'll get there. So now I want to get like, okay, let me pull up a preloader spec in here. So we want to say, where do we actually do the preload? Yeah, okay, great. Here, so let's say like preloader is gonna be, I'll just like copy this exact pattern, right? Preloaded to-dos gets preload on run nested preloader on exactly this, right? To-dos has many tagging, and tagging belongs to tag. And apply that to to-dos to preload. Preloaded to-do gets preloaded to-dos bracket 0. And this takes the preloaded to-do. Okay, and so now this says, oops. This says like get me not just the preload, but also its taggings and the tag for each tagging. And then I can pass this into the show, which that feels pretty good to me. All right, and so then here, that's why this has to be some dynamic type. Yeah, but this feels okay. So we get taggings, we got tag. Life is good. Okay. I guess the thing that I'm really wondering is, yeah, like I think I need to write a, like an opening object here as well, and a close object, because this is like an array of objects, I guess. I wonder if there's a way to like just like dump out not objects here. But that feels like, I feel like if there's a code here, right, that should be, like if we take a code, that means this is going to be an object. This is going to be an object valued thing. Yeah, that feels great. Of objects value. Okay, and then here, adds fields with non-object values. I think this is the easy one. Well, this is the meta-programmed one. Okay, so for fields, oh, this, do we have like a static for? Does this exist? No. All right. All right, so for fields, I want to print to builder, string builder. I want to, for each field, I want to write. Oh, dang. Oh, no, this is fine. I want to write the field name. Yeah. Gotta do a lot of escaping in here. And here's how we're gonna need to, this is gonna be a bit weird, right? This is gonna be like JSON, like encode scalar value or something like that, right? But this is fine. Okay, so great double percent, I want to say. Okay. This got super weird. So, like in Ruby land, this would say, like I think this has got to be like a code. Or like no, this is fine. Okay, this is it's good for this to be value. Value dot something, and then here we just like embed the field name twice. Right, so we're gonna say it on the left hand side of this. Because okay, we're like printing to the program now. Great, and that's why this needed to be a oops. That's why initially I thought this needed to be a double percent. I think it does. Because here we need to value dot that it. Great. Okay, for each field, we're printing the builder a write statement where we're writing the key to some value, and this should be encode JSON value on that. Okay, does this make any sense to me at all? Alright, so we got a write. The write needs a quote and an end quote. The open and close quotes are just like something in an escaped string, colon, something else. The something else is an encode JSON value, value.something, and we say it twice. Yeah, this sounds good to me. Okay, so here we want to return sprint on this, and then the value. Yeah, that sounds about right. And then for like a number. This would be able to a nice thing to be able to say. Whatever. We'll say that it's either, if it's a string, we like add quotes, otherwise we just like dump it out there. Maybe for like an array of scalars. Nah, I don't worry about that yet. Okay, so we got like a string and we got anything else. A string gets quotes. I love it. And like a false, a nullable, everything else will like fall through there. Okay. We do that for each field. We return builder to string on string builder. We've inserted that. Yeah, so each of these we're just like writing the pair. Love it. Okay, this seems like exactly what I want. Oh, and really in here we want to like escape the value. That sounds good. And like for a number, we don't have to worry about that. And for false, for true, for anything else, we don't have to worry about that. Cool. We better JSON escape this as well, right? Maybe I'll just call like JSON or encode JSON value on it. That sounds good. Get rid of some of these quotes. That feels better. This feels way more readable. Yeah, we know that feels as a string. Okay, life is good here. This feels nice. Okay. Now, what do we even do? We want to insert internal children. Is that right? Do we have to like start the object first? Render JSON immediately calls JSON to do. I think we've got to like start the object. And end the object. Okay. Now, we call insert internal, which means that this children is going to have access to, like this is going to have access to these bindings. This wants to be like that. No, it doesn't. Where am I? I'm going to cut this out. I think that at this point the comments are not helping. At least maybe I'll pull them a line up. Alright, adds a field with an object value, an array of objects value, adds fields with non-object values. Cool, and so here at the root we just open an object, close the object. I mean, this seems like it could work, yeah? Okay, and how do these fit together? Render takes a request, a view, which is currently just a code, but I think this wants to be like a whatever, something that way. It takes some props. Okay. Yeah, this was terrible. Don't like that at all. This I should just say to-dos show JSON. No, this should say just like view applied to request and props. Yeah, okay, and I think this like glues everything together in a manageable way. Yeah. Yeah. Let's just check it out, huh? We got our web server running. I just want to grab localhost 7000 to-dos with a specific ID. We predictably got a bad gateway. What's gonna happen? Alright. $children is obviously the wrong syntax. Alright, how about now? Still no good. Semicolon expected after expression. Render line 25. Yep, that checks out. What's happening here? Procedure is missing its body. Oh, I have an errant semicolon. What do we got? What do we got? Oh yeah, to show view isn't defined. This wants to be to show like JSON view, right? Yeah, okay. What do we got? Uh-oh. Whew! What a type! Well, that's not very readable at all. Okay. At the end of compilation, this procedure is still polymorphic. The view is polymorphic. It's bound to the polymorphic type SCJ request T. But isn't it preloaded to do something? Like, doesn't this have like a well-known type? Right? What's wrong here? This should be fine, right? Because like this to-do is made concrete by specifying this. Doesn't it? Well, the other thing is I don't think this render is actually really giving me much. Like I kind of liked this at one point. I just don't know if it's really like helping. So maybe what I'll say is I'll cut this and I'll just say do show JSON view. I'll just like inline this for now. And I'll do this on request and preloaded to do. Alright, what do we got this time? Undeclared identifier connection FD. Yeah, that sounds about right. To-do's controller. Yeah, this wants to be request dot. What do we get now? Status. Yeah, of course. Come on. What am I doing? Get it together. What was this going to be? 200. Okay. KO. Alright. How we doing? How we doing? Status is still here. Yeah, I gotta really tighten up. Yeah, I figured. Oh, hello. Welcome to the stream. Writing some Json serialization code today. Ooh. Type on its string, type given code. That's exciting. Okay. Alright, to show line 3. So I would have figured that because we've got was that it? What have we got? No, type match wanted string given code. Do we even have one that takes string? I don't know. Can we do this? Yeah, I figured. Okay, that's no good. I would have thought this would work. Well, okay, let me just like give these more concrete names, because there's something about this like polymorphism, the like static dispatch that's not working out here. Let's call this one JSON object, this one JSON array, and this one, I don't know, JSON fields. Yeah, alright, it's like not as cute, but maybe it'll get us through the door. Okay. What do we get? What do we get? No response to do. Yeah, that sounds about right. Huh. I was worried about this. So we've like lost the to do in our binding here. Let's like pass it through. Let's see how this goes. Let's say that like this takes some props, right? And we'll say like I don't know. How many its are we gonna have floating around here? This seems rough, but let's try this out. So here also we got like an it, which is some dynamic type t. Yeah. Maybe. I think it'll at least give us an interesting error message. Undeclared identifier to do. Did I forget to do? Oh, to do like over here. What did we get wrong? Oh, wow, we made it pretty far. Okay, added strings, workspace 15. Yeah, this is... Oh, we need more escaping. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. Yeah, it's time to escape. Alright, I don't want to write... Yeah, I'll just do this the easy way. Okay. So, I want to say... I want to like replace like that. Replace that with double, and replace a quote with slash quote. Seems right. I think I gotta do this operation first because this is gonna mess it up. Yeah, okay. Alright, so is there like a replace? Yes. Ignacio did not implement this, and now he's going to be sorry. Split, free, join. That's cute. Okay. Let's say return, replace single quote character with slash quote on the result of replacing that with double on to escape. Okay, this is gonna need a much more thorough review, but this is at least a start, right? Place string old new. Oh dang, I got the whole order wrong. Alright, and first I want to replace a backslash with a double backslash, then I want to replace a quote with a backslash quote. That seems like it might work. Nope. Not even syntax. What do we got? What do we got? Compile error. Error. Huh. I thought I was doing JSON escaping on stuff. I encode JSON value it, which is a string, which is supposed to... Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I just can't. I think I gotta do... Alright, what's happening? I think that is my regular old server crash that happens once in a while. If I come back, what do we get? Wow! Right, ID colon something encode JSON value. Whew! Do not match anything. Value.id. Oh man, I forgot to include in this write the connection file descriptor. Yeah. Request.connection fd. Now what? Oh right, okay. I renamed some of this is getting pretty far. Let me like check out what this like workspace looks like now. 8. What does my added strings for workspace 8 look like, and how many lines are there in it? A lot. What do I want to find here? I want to look at render. Okay, right, request.connection file descriptor ID to that description completed at. That's great. Okay, what have we got? Shouldn't this? That seems like it wants to work. Oh yeah, no, yeah, okay. I can't. These won't be just JSON. This is gonna be object. And is there another just JSON? No. Okay. Let's try again. What do we get? 4 values. Undeclared identifier values. Bummer. Yeah, I was worried about that. Okay, so, oh, but JSON object wants to take. This should probably take some like it. Anyway, yeah. That seems like valid, right? Yeah. I'm pushing around a lot of its. It seems pretty gnarly, pretty ugly. Missing children. Oh yeah, JSON object now. always needs the thing. So this is just going to be like that. Oops. Gotta pass the to-do in here. Gotta put the tagging in here. Okay, that's pretty gross, but I bet I can clean it up a little. Okay, what's happening? Oh man, what am I doing with a semicolon in there? Should be comma. Whew. Hash table. On a 4 expansion. Alright, what line are we on? Four values. Procedure call to not match any overloads. Huh. And render JSON request to do. Isn't this an array? Where do we get to? Where do we get to? Oh. Okay, type of taggings is an array of pointers to preloaded results. Shouldn't that be just fine? In a, did I, what did I get wrong? What did I get wrong? It seems like it's probably in here in JSON array. Right? Like, in this code, this should be, shouldn't this be fine? Alright, what do we get? Type of taggings. We never hit inner type of taggings. We now have circular dependencies. Woof. Was it that line? Is that line somehow introduces a circular dependency? Whew. Oh, I think that wants to go there. How are we looking? Okay, type of taggings, inner type of values, is still a bracket of preloaded result. That seems like it wants to be fine. Doesn't that seem like it wants to be fine? But then for values, we got an array. Shouldn't that just be allowed? What went wrong? We definitely need a closing bracket, which apparently I forgot. But I'm stumped. What? What is going on here? Values is an array. Oh, sometimes it's a pointer. What's it doing as a pointer? Okay, so when it's a pointer, it blows up. How is it ever a pointer? When would that happen? Do we recur somehow in here, and I just don't notice it? No, we shouldn't. I wonder if, I wonder if this is the issue. I'm gonna inline this. I feel like this is too cute. Like, it seemed like a clever code reuse pattern, but like, at what cost, huh? Alright, let me throw that in there, get rid of that. Don't need that anymore. Now I just have values still. This feels better. Now I can write that in a comma. This feels great. And I'll do that. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, this isn't going to do the right thing at all. I'm just realizing. But maybe it'll do something and we can learn from it. Killed. Syntax error. Oh, bummer. Oh yeah, this thing has no taggings. That's exciting. Okay. Neat. So, isn't like it belongs to fetch? Yeah. Seems like I can just like return nothing if like up here, I can probably say like if not source records. Is that right? Yeah. Return a belongs to dot destination repo dot record dot like source dot record array, which is empty. This feels good. Okay. And then in has many, I bet there's like a corresponding thing we can do here. We can say, oops, that's the wrong spot. So when we're fetching, we can do this. And this probably I want to say like if it dot percent array add. I have this twice. And I can probably then say like if not destination IDs, same thing. Cool. But source IDs will always exist if there are any. That feels pretty good. I had a result. Before I like tripped all over myself. I had a weird result, but I had something. That's cool. It was like kind of empty. Alright, what did I get wrong? Belongs to. What's happening here? Don't I have a... Oh yeah, this should be has many. Dang, I made things worse? Oh, hey! Okay, I'm missing plenty of stuff. But this is kind of working. Yeah, this is like clearly not JSON. Missing a ton of important stuff here. But I can kind of see, like if you squint, you know, this looks a little bit like, you see a to-do, which has an ID, which is number typed, and a description, which is string typed, and a completed at, which is null. Great. And it's got empty taggings. Okay, okay, this is a start. It's all wrong, but it's a start. Let's get back to Json render, right? Alright, let me cut this out. This is not helping. I'm gonna cut this. Because now these are even like named, right? Okay, cool. So what in the world was I thinking here? This wants to be after that. That'll help a little. Okay. This, like, doesn't want to have those. But it means that like we're missing commas now. This is closer to JSON, right? To do is there's an object called to do with key to do, and the value is ID is 263, missing a comma. All right, where do the commas come in? JSON fields. Oh yeah, okay. Gotta sneak in here if it index is less than or equal to values that count. No, that's not values. That's it. Fields -1. Then write a comma. Then append the builder to write a comma. No. Yeah? Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay. This looks like almost JSON. Where did this comma come from? How did I get there? Well, somehow this does look like JSON. I don't know how I got that last comma. That seems like a bug. Oh, I see. That's what I want. Yeah. Okay, cool. So, okay, how am I going to keep track of... How am I going to keep track of, like, whether I need a comma? I probably need some, like, JSON field concept. That's probably what I need. And, like, in here, I'm going to need, like, I don't know, needs comma. Well, that sounds terrible. Excuse me. Okay, whatever. If needs comma. Do that. Here, say needs comma gets true. If needs comma. Say needs comma gets true. And here we're gonna print to builder. Oh, this is gonna be a problem though, isn't it? Yeah, okay. So we're gonna have to print to builder. If needs comma. Right. And then print to builder needs comma true. Nope. Didn't work. What's happening here? Huh. That's a surprise. Because I'm like mutating needs comma. Oh, I see what's up. This I shouldn't have changed. Here I should say and here I should say like that. No, it should be up here, and then down here I say needs comma, right? Yeah. Maybe I'll call this like needs comma before field. Hey! ID 263, description, whatever, something else, completed at null, taggings. We have commas. I mean, it's pretty ugly. But this looks like valid JSON. Defensively, like not because of a bug. Let's look at look at the users. Let's like find a user or look at to-dos, I guess, and find one that has taggings. Do any? No. Not found. Taggings? No. Let me cancel that. Workspace it. PSQL. Grab my PSQL connection string. Okay, select star from taggings. There are none. Do we have tags? Yes. Okay. Insert into taggings. What? To do ID, tag ID, values. 263, 217, 263, 218. And now, if I reload this one, hey, check out the taggings. Got a tag, ID 217, description fun. No comma. Okay, we're close, we're close. We're so close. JSON array, JSON array. Alright, here. Yeah, okay, so if index less than values at count minus 1, write request dot connection fd comma. Hey, let's paste this into to a JSON buffer. All right, this seems like JSON, yeah. We have a to do. It has an ID, a description, a completed at null, taggings. Let me date. Let me test the escaping. Set description equals, I don't know. Where ID equals 263. Oh, to-dos. Okay, and here, what do we got? What have we got? Okay. That might be right. Maybe I'll pick an easier thing here. Okay, it's a quote, and then a backtick. This seems like valid JSON still. Yeah. Alright. I feel pretty good about this. Discard that. Let's look at, I don't know. This seems pretty defensible. There's like a lot of like to do getting set to it business here, isn't there? I wonder if I can do better. For one thing, can I do like that? Reach outside, scoop up to do. this one I really want to use it. But this one I don't. Ooh, bad gateway. Identified backticked, but is not inside a macro. Yeah, no good. I think that this, it feels like this, even though this code is going to get inserted into a macro, it's still like backticking out of the code or something. Okay, can't do that. Alright. What's next? What else might we do? I mean, I could just use like it. I could specify the name of the thing that I cared about. You know what, actually? For JSON object, I have it open over here. Like, we set it, but we could very easily do like one of these, and then here at least we can get rid of that. We don't need that. Oh, we do need that first one, don't we? We don't need the second one. This one is probably just good now. Yeah, that we still need. This one we probably don't. Is that better? Insert a non-constant. Gotta run. Nope. Alright. I mean, this is like maybe slightly cleaner. Is it? Is it really? Yeah. Could be worse. It's a pretty good starting point. I'll leave it at that. Alright, we better write some tests though. How am I going to test this? Okay, let's write some tests. Wait, I don't know if I've celebrated enough. This is incredible. This feels great. I'm using my nested preloaders. If I reload this page, am I going to get like SQL logs? No. But if I like tweak this and say, and here, like before we actually execute, like when we hit send query, if I say, oh yeah, this was wild. Yeah, cool. Print query something, builder to string query builder. Yes. Right, like this is all our preloader. Look at that busted n+1. This performant business. Great. Love to see it. I wonder though, What workspace was that one? 8? And like how weird do these get? That's not that weird. That's pretty weird. Yeah, this one's, it's like odd, huh? I don't totally hate it though. I might want to do some more baking based on commands and stuff. Okay, well, whatever. Let's describe render. What do I care about here? Oh, I'm getting hungry. I feel like after I write some tests here, I'm probably going to wrap up for a bit. I don't know. It like renders arbitrary structs and like objects and arrays. So let's say to render is a struct which is gonna have like some like children, which is like in a bracket of struct of like ID value, like a deeper child. Cool, let's say that. That seems fine. And I think we need that, and then that is fine. I'm gonna say like to render that. To render dot children get something. Dang, I need to like name this probably. Just creating some fixture data. Escaping strings as necessary. First to render child deeper child dot ID equals 17, let's say. Let's give like a second one of these. Give it like 23. Second, and this is gonna be sure. Okay, so to render dot children is gonna be to render children, and that's all. We're good. Great. Actually, you know what? I think I can just say here. That should be fine, right? This is all static, constant. Oh, it's not. Okay, that looks like a constant. This feels great. Although, you know, we could probably just declare this whole thing, right? Yeah. Look at all these types. Look at all this inference. Totally illegible. But what a terse test, huh? Okay, and let's say, so now what do I want to do? I need to make like a pipe, don't I? How does pipe work? Because like this render takes some stuff. Yeah. Okay. Pipe is a type 2 S32. What is the text editor I'm using? Is VS Code. It's got like decent. Someone else in the J community built some like syntax highlighting stuff for this, but it's just I've been using this for like several years now. Before this, I was using Atom, which has like a really similar design philosophy, but like got really slow when I turned on its features. And I don't know how, but VS Code seems like it's stayed fast even when I turned on the fancy business. Yeah. Okay, so now I want to say, oh yeah, pipe FDs, and I gotta open up a pipe. And give it that pointer, and I want to expect that to equal, to equal 0, right? It's like the happy return code for these like POSIX things. Okay, and then how does pipe work? Man, pipe seems like a terrible thing to have looked up, but I'm glad the internet had my back here. Okay, so what does pipe do? Creates a pipe, unidirectional data channel that can be used for inter-process communication. Return 2, returning the ends. 0 is the read end, 1 is the write end. Okay. Read and gets pipe FDs bracket 0. Write and gets pipe FDs 1. Does that sound right? Yes. Awesome. Okay. And then, because like when I call Json render, it wants like a request, but the only thing it references on the request is the connection file descriptor. So maybe I want this to just take a file descriptor. Yeah. That sounds fine. Let's get all these and delete them. Cool. And then where do I call this from? Here. Maybe this just wants a connection. Where do I call this from? Here. I can just return the connection. FD. Alright. That seems nice. Okay, so now I want to call render result. Oh no, I'll just call render JSON. I wonder if I'm going to like lock myself up writing to and reading from this pipe. Maybe I need to like, I hope I don't need to like spawn a thread to do this all. Or maybe I need to like define some like string IO that we haven't, like what we have in Ruby that's going to just like write to memory. Let's see what happens. Render JSON write and to render code. JSON object. Yeah, I should pull up my like example of this. I need to pull out to render JSON object to render code JSON array children to render dot children code child gets it JSON fields child, and I want to ID and value JSON field, and then I want to do a JSON dot object, right? Which is called deeper child with child dot deeper child. Cool. And then here I want to do JSON fields with deeper child and just ID. Okay. And now I want to say like result is okay. So now I gotta like read everything out of that pipe. While okay. Yeah, this seems like a terrible way to do this. I wonder if there's like a better option, but whatever. Like I feel like I want to like close right end. Yeah. And then I want to do like while read. And this takes a file descriptor. File descriptor, a pointer, and then the number of bytes to read. Yeah, okay. So I'll read from read end to next byte, size of U8. Yeah. While anything. Result string builder. Oh no, what do I want to do here? I want to say like result bytes. I'm going to add to that. Yes. Cool. Okay, and a result is going to be a string. Result.count gets result bytes.count. Result.data gets result bytes.data. Okay, so now I have the result, and I want to say expect result to equal some JSON string. Alright, and it should be that to render children. And the first one has an ID. The ID was 12. It has a value. That value is quote poo quote slash, and its deeper child is an object with an ID of, what was it? 17. The second one has an ID of 23, a value of second, a deeper child of ID 674. Okay, that's the whole thing I want. That feels great. Okay, can I just run this test? Is it ready? What do we got? Ah, I'm missing a dot. Nope, that's wrong. Huh. Oh, that should be a hash. Not a $sign. Woo! Oh boy. Okay. When expanding, expect procedure call to not match any of the possible overloads. Oh, dang. Okay, what? What? Where? Oh, here. What? 2 equal, wanted S32, got S64. Oh, I wonder if I can, like... Does that work? No. Read end needs a colon. Close right end. What? How's that possible? Oh, I'm missing... This has got to get up here? Classic. Failed expectation. Expected... Huh, this looks pretty close, though. I'm kind of shocked. Alright, expected that to equal that. Where do they differ? Oh. Oh, yeah, my... Oh, that's a bummer. Oh, okay, though. We're just missing that comma there. That's pretty easy to fix, I think. This is like an actual bug that I think I have found. So here, when it's like if needs comma before next field. Oh man, I bet this breaks everything though, doesn't it? Right, because I don't know if needs comma before next field is like defined. Although I bet I can just define it here, right? Maybe that'll work. Ooh. How close are we? Got that comma. That's great. When do they differ? This looks identical. Do I have like, I have a new line. It's totally the new line. Wow, that's an ugly string literal. Yeah. I wonder if there's like the opposite of advance. Is there like retreat? Yeah. Ugh. I don't know, I'll just like replace new lines in this string with nothing. Done. Json renders. The compiler still takes forever to run though. That's so weird. I wonder what that's about. Oh well. This is kind of fun. Just like read all the way out. I wonder if I'm like leaking a resource in the test code by not like closing a pipe properly. How do I figure that out? Close on exec. And after the fork, each process closes it that it doesn't need for the pipe. Yeah, maybe we better. I better close the read end as well just to be safe. Yeah, okay, the tests pass. Alright, great. You know, this feels like a pretty happy test. I like it. Some pretty bizarre. You know what? Maybe I'll be like JSON with white space. I want this to be like more legible. Because I'm just like struggling to understand what's this testing if I can't read it. Ugh, it's gonna be a pain. I'm just gonna leave it. It's fine. Yeah, just go to new lines. Ooh, the dog is up. Oh, I broke it. How did I break it? Yeah, the indentation. Cool. Okay, this feels like a pretty good breaking point. Output dot dot. Is that because it's like mid building? What is going on? What? It's so slow. I feel like it's like. I feel like it's got to be an interaction between like my development environment and the compiler or something, where like it's almost as if like because like Mac OS is like indexing it and it's running inside Ubuntu and it's like in a Git repo. What is like output dot dot? Oh yeah, this was the yeah, that's funny. This is when we had a circular dependency, right? Yeah. Get rid of that. Alright, what do we got? We have a describing of a test of render, which is great. We have simplify. Well, we have like this controller that has more behavior in it now. Cool. Got, yeah, these like little enhancements. We have the implementation of render JSON. And we have have a JSON view. Cool. Okay. I'm gonna commit like Json Rendering. I'm gonna push it up, and I'm gonna go to lunch. I mentioned this earlier, but I don't know if you're here for it or if you're even here now. Still rectum. But I don't know if you noticed, I uploaded some old VODs onto YouTube. So if you check me out, this is me. I'm here on YouTube. You can find me now. And I have this playlist of the old ones. I think the most recent one that I uploaded there is the one where you asked me for for like a link to my VODs. Anyway, feel free to check them out. It's linked from my Twitch profile. Find me there. Maybe I'll post it in here. Is this it? Is this the correct link? Yes, that's me. Alright, I'm pasting it into the chat too. And yeah, I'm gonna go have lunch. Maybe I'll see you around. Bye.